Hello, this video is for you to have an introduction to the material for Quiz 1. Your Quiz 1 covers the material for our textbook um, modules 1.1 and 1.2. So you might want to see this video before you start reading the textbook so you have a little bit of an idea, and hopefully that will make it easier for you to understand what's in your textbook. This video doesn't intend to replace your textbook, it's just an introduction to the material. Let's talk about the goals. So after you read your textbook, you want to have clear basically three things. The first thing that you should look into our textbook is to understand what are linear equations and to identify those. So understand and identify linear equations. The second goal will be for you to be able to set up linear equations from a word problem. And the third goal would be to identify whether two systems of equations are equivalent. And of course, these are going to be linear systems of equations. Okay, let me just give you a little bit of an intro about part one. So what are going to be your linear equations? Again, all of these, the precise information is in your textbook, but just a little intro. Linear equations are going to be equations that have your variables, say your variables are x, y, and z. It can have more, it can have fewer variables than those. But suppose that you have three variables. Linear equations look like number times x plus number, these are really coefficients, times y, plus coefficient times z, and you can always manipulate it to be equal to another coefficient. So for example, your coefficients can be funny numbers like square root of 5, pi, e, and here you can have, I don't know, positive, negative 0, any number, negative 15. So that's an example of a linear equation for three variables. Let me give you another typical equation. So if it's not in this form, it could have, I don't know, negative 25x plus 17 pi times y plus 0x equals to square root of 2. That's another one. Or I could even put minus square root of 2 equals 0. You do need an equal sign for it to be an equation. But the important thing is you have number times variable, coefficient times your variable, coefficient times your variable, and so on. Let me show you another one that is also a linear equation. So sine of 3 pi over 7. This is a number, right? So this could be a coefficient of your x plus y equals negative 17. This is another linear equation. What is not a linear equation, for example, would be if your x is actually part of the argument of sine. So for example, sine of 3x plus y equals negative 17z. This is not a linear equation because this is not a coefficient times x. This is sine of 3x. That makes a big difference. Also, it wouldn't be a linear equation if at any point I have, for example, a root or a square, or say root of y. None of these terms are linear. So if your equation has any of these type of terms, that would make it into a non-linear equation. And with that, that's just a brief introduction. Like I said, you will read your textbook for more specifics and more formal explanations. Let's just discuss a little bit about setting up linear equations from word problems. You have great examples in your textbook, but also I have posted at least one video for the problem time 1.2.2a. This is on Canvas, so you can watch that one. And to identify equivalent linear systems of equations, actually, sorry, this is for that one. That is for 1.2.2a. For this one, for setting it up, I have on Canvas a video that is labeled as the type 1.1.a. So you can watch those, and those will give you an idea in case that when you're reading your textbook, you need to see examples, kind of like real-time examples on how to work those problems. And that's it. That's introduction to the material for your quiz 1. Remember that if you have any more questions or anything that you feel like you want to review, you can always reach out to me or your tutors about this. Thank you.